Okay, on the last video, we finished off here and we're going to continue on with the worksheet. So now we're going to go on to number 4, or we're going to first talk about a power of a power, then we're going to go on to number 4. Power of a power. When you have a power of a power, to simplify, you multiply. Power of power was there is an exponent above another exponent. So here I'll just use my little marker here. So let's like pick the letter N, and it has the power. So it has a power of 3. Now, if there's another power, so if there's a bracket around this, and another power, say 2, this means it's power of a power. Now, the rule is you multiply the two numbers. So 3 times 2 is 6. So when you have a power of power, you multiply. So this is what a power of a power is. And you go 3 times 2 is 6. So let's do some sample problems. So the first one here, so you got 4 and 3. So you're going to go 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. You can use your calculator, but 4 times 3 is 12. So this is what you write. You write 2 to the power of 12. Okay? So you multiply the exponents. That's when you have a bracket and a power outside of a power. Here, 2 times 5 is 10. So you leave the 3, and then you got 3 to the power of 10. Okay, you do not evaluate these, so you do not determine what that answer is. It says just to simplify. It does not say to evaluate. So here, 3 to the power, so 2/3 to the power of 3 to the power of 4. So you do 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So you got 2/3 to the power of 12. Okay, let's go on to the next power of the power, similar one. So here, you've got this whole thing that's to the power of 3. So here's what you do. You do 5 to the power of 3, and then 4 times 3, you do x to the power of 12. Well, that doesn't make sense, Mr. Skomra. Well, that 3 actually goes to both of them. So that 3 goes to that one, and it goes to the 5. Let me show you how that works down here. Okay, so if you have 5x to the power of 4 to the power of 3, well, it's like you have 3 of these. So you have 5x to the power of 4, and then you have another 5x to the power of 4, and then you have another 5x to the power of 4. These are all multiplied, so it's like 4 plus 4 is 8, plus another 4 is 12. So that's where the x to the 12 comes. Now you have 1, 2, 3 5s. That's where the 5 to the 3 comes in. Okay, let's look at the next one beside it here. So here you just multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. And then you go 8 times 4. So 8, 16, that's 32. So you get a to the 12, b to the 32. Again, they're multiplied. Okay, so you can use your calculator. Let's move on. Okay. Oh, we have some fractions. What happens here? So in this case, the exponent goes to the top and the bottom. So here it's like a to the power of 4, and on the bottom is b to the power of 4. Okay, here 2 times 5. So the 5 goes both to the top and to the bottom. So it's 2 times 5 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. So on the top, 2 times 5 is 3 to the power of 10. And on the bottom, 3 times 5, 4 to the power of 15. You keep the bases. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So here I've mixed up all the questions. So here we're going to mix them all up, and we're going to figure out what rule to apply when. So the first one, A, is a divide. 3 to the power of 5 divided by 3 to the power of 2. So the rule for divide is subtract. So here, on the very first one, we're going to do 5 subtract 2. So the first one, we're going to get 3. So here we're going to have 3 to the power of 3, because the base is 3, and then we did 5 minus 2, 3. Here's a power of a power. So in this case, it's a multiply. It's a 2 times a 5. So here we get 10. You can use your calculator. So here you get 3 to the power of 10. Okay, this one over here, they're all multiplied. So here you add exponents. So for this one, you do 3 plus 7. And here you get 10. You keep the base. The base is still 5. So you keep the base, and you get 5 to the power of 10. And this is also multiplied, but it throws in a fraction. So here you just add the top. You add 3 plus 4, so you should get 7. So here you should get 2/3 to the power of 7. Again, hopefully you're following along on the sheet. Again, if you need more time, hit pause. Okay, if you need more time to copy, you hit pause. You can always rewind. Okay, now we've got a few more here. Okay, we got x to the power of 2 and x to the power of 5. They're multiplied. So again, you add it. So for this one here, 2 plus 5 is x to the power of 7. Okay. Over here, well, they're all multiplied, so you add all those numbers. So it's a little bit different here. You do 2, you add the 3, you add the 5. And you can use a calculator here. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus another 5 is 10. So that should be b to the power of 10. Okay, this I do in 2 parts. So on the top I would add, and then that I'd subtract off later. So first I would add. So look, on the top 2 plus 5 is 7. So I added those. Now we have a divide question. So it's 7 subtract 3. 7 subtract 3 is 4, so it's a to the power of 4. Okay, now we got one of these combination questions. So here, this 3, this particular goes to both these. It goes to this one, and it goes to that one. So in this particular case, it's 3 to the power of 3, and it's 2 times 3, so it's x to the power of 6. We've got 2 more little items here, and we're just about done. Okay, adding powers cannot simplify, only evaluate. So here, you got 2 to the 3 plus 2 to the 8. Do not do this. This is wrong. This is not 2 to the 3 plus 8. Some people think it's this, and they do 2 to the 11. No, that's wrong. Do not do that. For this particular case, you do 2 times 2 times 2 on your calculator, 8, and 2 to the power of 8, 256. So if you go to your calculator here, let's pull it out. You can do this in one step. You don't have to do it in multiple steps. The calculator would do it. Then you go 2 to the power of 3, and you're going to put plus 2 to the power of 8. You can do it all in one step if you had this. It equals, and you get 264. So our final answer here is 264. Okay, different base cannot simplify. So again, if you have a different base, I've seen people do this. Do not do this. So you're not allowed to do this. 2 to the 3. Okay, 3 to the 4. So here's what people do. Oh, I'll just add those. I'll put 7. Well, what do I do with the base? Well, 2 times 3 is 6. So they do 6 to the 7. And then they get an answer here, whatever that is. This is not correct. Do not do that. Here's the proper way. So you can figure out 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. You can do 3 to the power of 4, which is 81. And then you can multiply the 2. Or you can do it all in one step on a calculator here. You can go 2 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 4. And it can figure out the 648 all in one step on a good calculator. Now, if you have all this done, you can go to the worksheet. Okay, so let's just start from the start here. Now, I'll show you how the worksheet works, okay? So look, this was evaluate. We did these practice questions earlier. If you go to the worksheet, if there's evaluate, and you go to the bottom, there's just different numbers here, and you follow the same steps. So if you're lost, and you don't know how to do these, you go back to the video and you watch how you did question 1. Question 2 and 3, look, simplify. These are your multiply and your divide. So you go back to the video, okay? If you go back to the video, it'll show you how to do those questions. It'll show you how to do those, and corresponds, it'll show you how to do the 3 questions. Okay, next was the power of the power here. So if you go to the power of the power, the 4 and 5, if you look at the 4 and 5 above, okay, or you can look above here how we did it in the lesson right above here. You can follow the steps and do it down here, just with different numbers. And finally, this one's number 6, and I should change the numbering before I forget. This 6 corresponds to the 6 we just did earlier in the video as well. So again, these numbers correspond to the top ones. So that corresponds to the mixed numbers on the top.